Hey everyone, Chad Peterman here. At Peterman Brothers, we are always constantly trying to improve and innovate to make sure our customers get the best possible service. One of our newest ways is our Direct Field Support, or DFS program. This is the first episode in a special series where we are going to dive into this program to share with you, our listeners, how this is revolutionizing how we serve. To kick us off, I sat down with one of the creators of this program, Danny. Let's hear what he has to say. Hey everybody, excited to talk with you a little bit today about a new program that, well, I guess it's not as new anymore, but we'll call it beginning of 2024, we kind of rolled out, which was our DFS program. And this program was designed really in how we can develop our field professionals, offer them the support and guidance that they need so that they can deliver the best quality of service to our customers. Here with me today is Danny. Danny heads up a lot in the L&D department here at Peterman and has been instrumental in really creating this program. So really wanted to bring him on to kind of explain kind of our philosophy behind what it was that we were trying to create and, the things that we're working to improve and hopefully impact the lives of a ton of people. So I guess, Danny, to get us kicked off, kind of tell me a little bit about kind of what our DFS program looks like, what it was designed to do, and really how it operates now to kind of really serve the field professional out there.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Chad. I think that really DFS or dedicated field support was really born out of the idea that you can have an amazing training and there's still a percentage of the knowledge that is not retained, and that it's not going to be retained until somebody tries it out in the field and they go through the failures and the successes and build their confidence to do so. But having a 2 or 3 day training and then sending someone out expecting them to implement a whole new process, well, it's not the most effective way to do that. So really, DFS was born out of the idea of how can we continue to support people and maybe leave the stigma aside of the micromanagement aspect of call by call.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's critical, is the distinction between the two. So tell me a little bit about call by call and all of this stuff. While I think it has its place and we're doing a version of it, tell me a little bit about how ours is different from maybe kind of the stereotypical or the kind of the in vogue thing that seems to have kind of came into our industry, here recently.
Well, when I was managing the sales department at a multi-trade company in North Carolina, call by call then was actually just a very reactive approach to say, for example, I'd have a sales guy go out there and then they lost the call. So then they would call the manager, or me at that time, and they would say, hey, I lost the call. And then I would immediately engage in a save the call attempt with the customer to see what went wrong and try to close the sale. And that was kind of like the extent of the call-by-call management, right? Later on, I learned the way other companies did it, and it was more of maybe a more proactive approach where we're going to check in with people before they go out, kind of talk about the history of the customer, if they have a service history with the company, and then also check in with them before they present, right? Which is definitely a much better approach. It's more proactive than reactive. But really, DFS is different in two major areas. Number one, DFS really redefines accountability into more support. So it's no longer just holding people accountable. It's supporting people to implement a training before we ever try to hold them accountable, right? And the second biggest difference between call by call and the way DFS runs is the intentionality behind every single day that a technician is engaged and gives us their valuable time and spends times with us coaches, right? So in reality, DFS is a very intentional program that is anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. It's very much a customized approach to support people and meet them where they are, help them implement the process. And the biggest difference, I would say, is that DFS has a very specific, agenda, you could say, of competencies that you are implementing on a day-to-day basis, as opposed to just coaching the sales aspect of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we all can probably, many of our listeners will probably understand that, we've all sent field professionals to trainings. We've all been to trainings ourselves. And, what you said at the very beginning is we're only retaining a small piece of that. And if we want people to go out and follow the process and make sure we deliver a consistent customer experience every single time that we're in a home, there's got to be a level of accountability. There's got to be a level of coaching. Take me through the life, or take me through a day of what is a coach, and we have some tremendous coaches here. What does their day look like? I see them down there all the time talking to people, but what is that? What are their objectives? What are they trying to do on a day-to-day basis?
100%. So it depends on who they're working with. That's the beauty of DFS, is that it's a very targeted and customized approach to each individual, right? But all in all, their day can consist of, for example, onboarding. Onboarding is a huge piece of DFS process, in the sense that every one of the DFS participants is actually a voluntary. It's like a voluntary commitment as somebody that chose to be coached by one of our coaches, and they establish their own goals and what they wanted to accomplish through this program. So it's not something that is that we just make everyone do. We're happy to not give someone a DFS coach as long as they want to be responsible for their own results. And some people are good doing that, right?
Yeah.
But if they wanted to reach a different level, then they work with a coach. So a coach's day may involve onboarding a new participant for DFS. For the most part, what it involves is checking in with their team in the mornings. And then what they're doing is they're kind of looking at our technician's day. They're working with them individually on what do you want to work on today, right? What is it that, what are you struggling with, and what do you want to focus on for the next couple of days? And they go through that particular competency and train them on, say, presenting options, right? Or maybe they're training on how to better connect with customers and what kind of questions they need to ask. So they'll do that. They are proactively talking with technicians, kind of looking at their diagnosis, looking at their option building, and then they're actually going through and helping them to present before they ever have to do it with the customer. So the first time our technicians are sharing the problems and the solutions, it's not necessarily with the customer. They're actually getting to do that with the coach before they present it. Yeah. So it also, our coaches can be offboarding someone, right? So after the 4 to 6 week process, what they'll do is they'll do a final test, yep, you could say, right? Either a ride-along, or maybe we use one of our visibility tools to be able to see the implementation of our process, or the Peterman way, in the customer's home. And then they're coming together to figure out what their goals are for the next 3 to 6 months. And they're drawing up a document and a path to reach those goals, as opposed to just maybe talking about them, right? So once they do that, they share that with their managers, and they go through an offboarding process to kind of get them to perform on their own.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think one of the things that I've heard that, when we first rolled this out, I think we were, one of the fears is our field professional is going to be open to this new program, or is it like, I got someone else is watching me and different stuff like that. And I think one of the most interesting things that I've heard is I've talked to multiple people who've been in the program who have gotten to the end and then asked for more time in the program. Yeah. And I think that speaks to the level of intentionality, and that, accountability is not a bad word. They're simply there to remind you. We're asking people to do a lot of things out there during the day, and it's easy to forget something. It's easy to, oh shoot, I forgot to mention that, or I didn't even present that option, or whatever it may be. And really the goal of this program is to be there and to be supportive of the field professional and what they're trying to do. I think the other interesting piece for me is the level of support that it gives to a manager. Tell me a little bit about maybe conversations that you've had with managers on, the impact that it's had on some of the people that they oversee on a daily basis.
100%. There's one of our service managers, our electrical service manager here. He came and he was talking to me about one of our DFS participants that was just not. He said that he really wanted to part ways with Peterman Brothers because he felt like he wasn't very successful, and he saw other people in his department be successful, and he just wasn't. And he was so excited to share that ever since this participant went through DFS, the level of achievement that they reached and the difference in their results really made them want to stay here and want to continue working. And now he's one of the top performers in that department right now.
Yeah.
Which was really exciting because I remember him specifically saying, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks."
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's been doing this for years. And so it was really exciting to see him just adopt new processes and new ways of doing things that made him more successful. But as far as our managers, what we want to make sure is that our department is a department that supports their initiatives, right? Not a department that goes against them or takes away from the support they provide their technicians. So one thing that we do and that we make sure that we do on a regular basis is keep our managers engaged and keep them up to date throughout the entire process, right? So we're giving them constant updates so that they know where their participant stands, how they're doing through the process, what we're working on currently this week. That way they can also help support our initiative with this technician. So yeah, it's been really fun because it's really brought both teams closer together, right? The learning and development department and also our frontline managers who do all the hard work out there. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the most important things is the ability to position this program as a resource to not only the field professional, but also the manager, so that we're all working in tandem. We're all working for the same goal. And it's not, oh, well, all the credit goes to these people or, whatever it is. It's we share in the credit when we get to see the success of one of these field professionals go from, one of the lower performers to one of the higher performers. And essentially all they did was allow themselves to be held accountable and then to go after it. It's not everything we do here is about customer service. And what I know is that I think everybody has it in them to provide really good customer service. It's simply about providing them the tools to deliver that at a much higher level. As you think about, or what advice would you give to somebody who's listening and says, this sounds like something that could be really valuable? What would you say are, maybe some things to think about as they're thinking about potentially setting something up like this?
Yeah. I guess the first thing and the most important thing is, do you personally care about the people that you're leading?
Critical.
I think,
yes.
That's one of the superpowers of like DFS is that because there's not a crazy focus on sales. Or an attachment to the sales outcome of every single call, which is another huge difference from call-by-call management, right? What we see is that there has to be a level of genuine care, which is, of course, one of our core values here at Peterman, right? And so there has to be this genuine care and support for the people that you work with. So as long as that's a box you can check off, then you should be good to go to move forward. When you communicate that you genuinely care for people, that's the difference between just holding someone accountable to results and really supporting someone to attain the results that you're trying to hold them accountable to, right? That's one of the things I would consider. The other thing is I would consider the intentionality behind this. What are they learning? What are you teaching them on a day-to-day basis? Is it just like a phone call to, hey, this person did business with us 2 years ago? Or is this hey, let's focus on this part of the process today, and then let's focus on a different part tomorrow, right? So I would say those two things: the genuine care for the people that you're coaching, and the intentionality behind what kind of value are you providing to them when they call you, right?
Absolutely. No, and I think that your point about the alignment with care, I think, is a critical piece and can be expounded upon by making sure that, this program may or may not be for you. And a lot of that has to do with the alignment of your culture, the alignment of your philosophy, kind of your go-to-market strategy. What is that? I think that an important thing that you said was making sure that, your DFS coaches are detached from the outcome. They're completely attached to making sure that field professional knows that they have the utmost support out there. However, that outcome could be any number of things for whatever that customer chose to do for their home. And you'll hear us say that a lot around here is, being detached from the outcome. It's our job to provide the best customer service possible, provide our customers with their options, and allow them to choose whatever it may be that they feel is best for their home. Yes, we're going to be the professional there for support and guidance and all of that stuff, but it's really our job to be that guide for the customer, allow them to be the hero of the situation by having called the right company, got the right person out there, been presented all of the options that they need to make the best decision for their house and their family.
Yeah.
So
you know the coolest part about that? It turns out it just makes you more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The provide great customer service. The rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, 100%.
It's pretty cool. So, well, Danny, I really appreciate you sharing that. Obviously, I think this has been a hugely impactful program for us. We had the chance to kind of interview some of the technicians that have been through it. I think it'll be really cool to interview some of the coaches as well. A lot of them were former field professionals, some that weren't, but a lot of them that were. And my conversations with them, it really gets me inspired because they are truly living out our values by helping others, be at their best. So I can't thank you enough for your leadership and your foresight in helping us create this program and really steering the ship into what it's become. And, I look forward to what it will really turn into as we continue down this path.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the opportunity
Absolutely.
To be part of the Peterman team. It's
Absolutely.
Definitely makes it much easier when you're part of a culture like the one you've built here.
Well, I appreciate it. It takes a lot of people, but we're hoping to push it forward. So thanks a lot.